Yo, you guys fucking need me. You guys need me for this podcast. Jacob doesn't even know how to edit audio. Jeff, you're not even a real bracketologist. You guys are trash.
Hey guys, this is Man to Man Podcast, a podcast all about basketball. I'm one of your hosts, Jacob Rosenform.
What's up, guys? It's been a while. I'm Jeff Griffith, your other host.
And I'm Josh Sackless, your producer.
So, pretty wild week of basketball, especially up in Minnesota at Timberwolves camp. Jimmy Butler had some things to say for his team. We had our producer Josh Sackless give us a great rendition. If you were wondering what that little spout off there was, I don't think he really feels that way about us. But
we're not so sure.
But Jimmy Butler might feel that way about his teammates. I think he's justified.
I'm pretty sure Jimmy Butler hates his teammates.
So just to recap, he said to his team at practice, and I believe the quote goes, "You guys effing need me. You can't win without me." I feel like that's true.
This is while running with third stringers. This is while it's Jimmy Butler and four other bench warmers dominating the intra-squad practice, dominating the scrimmage.
Right,
it's incredible. It's an all-time NBA practice.
He is the best player on that team.
Yeah.
And I don't think
he said himself, Cat is the most talented player on this team.
Yeah.
Wiggins is has the most God-given talent, but I'm the hardest worker. And I think he's not wrong. I mean, we all see it with this team where, Cat and Wiggins are so incredibly talented, but we're not positive their number one priority is winning. That's the thing.
But are we convinced, though, that those guys are more talented than Jimmy Butler?
No, that's the thing. Okay, I'm not positive they're more talented, but definitely Jimmy Butler's priorities are much more in line.
Sure. But I still think he's the best player on that team. I feel like he's selling himself short.
Okay. I don't think he wasn't saying he was the best player. I think Cat's just more talented. Cat has more natural talent.
More raw talent.
Exactly,
okay, yeah.
exactly.
Well, I mean, we've seen it with that team that team should be better.
Exactly.
Last year, they were somehow the 8th seed.
Yeah, they had to win. Talent. They had to win their last regular season game to be the 8th seed. It took a miracle for them to get in the playoffs.
To beat out a Denver team that, while good, I think Minnesota's got considerably more talent.
Definitely.
At least in its core three players. Because Cat is a very good player.
Definitely.
He's, as you said, he's got raw talent. And Andrew Wiggins is also quite good. And then you got Jimmy Butler. Yeah. Well, okay, Andrew Wiggins is pretty good. But the fact that they've definitely, point being, my point here, I'm kind of circled around it, but my point is they've definitely played below their station.
Oh, yeah.
Where they should be.
I mean, I think that's what Jimmy Butler's referencing here. It's clearly he doesn't feel that everyone else is as invested in winning as he is. Clearly, he sees the writing on the wall with Cat and Wiggins that something's up here. Something's wrong with this marriage and he needs out.
Mm-hmm. I mean, I think we're on the same page here. Josh, you have anything to add?
No. I want to see him go, though. I'm ready for him to go. I want him in Miami.
Miami.
Yeah. I think Miami's the only team that's kind of... So the last offer I heard...
Well, didn't it fall through?
Yeah, so that's it. So they had super far along. They went super far along into talks.
Right. Don't the Lakers want him?
And he said he doesn't want to go to the Lakers. The idea of LeBron there is...
What about, Philly or Brooklyn?
He should go to Philly. He should 100% go.
Not Brooklyn?
Me and Sideline Intel CEO Ryan Sharp are talking about this. Sarge and Covington for Butler.
You gotta throw him first.
Absolutely.
Yeah,
definitely.
I don't know if you gotta throw him. Okay. The Heat's offer is Bam Adebayo. This was Minnesota's offer to the Heat that they said no was Bam Adebayo, Josh Richardson, and a first.
So they would be willing to do that.
No. So Miami would be willing to do that.
The T-Wolves would have been willing
exactly.
T-Wolves
would be willing to do that.
So Sarge and Covington as opposed to Adebayo and Richardson.
Sarge and Covington definitely get it.
Are better than those two players that the Heat have.
Undoubtedly.
Enough to the point where a first is not necessary.
Bingo.
Okay.
In my personal
that makes sense
opinion.
to me. Because then you're looking at a team with Markelle, Ben Simmons, Butler, Joel Embiid in your starting five.
Yeah. I mean, they probably go
Who's your four?
No, they probably go Fultz, Redick, Butler, Simmons, Embiid. That's my starting five.
Okay, yeah.
That's a good team. Squad.
That's a good team.
That's a really good team. Well, I mean, that's the thing. I don't know if even Philly wants to give up that much for Butler.
Is it that much though?
Okay, he's going into a year before free agency.
Sarge is great, but Covington.
Yeah.
I mean, he's good and he's a good defender, but I don't know. For Butler,
I'd be curious if you could turn Rocco, Zaire Smith and a first into Butler, something like that. Wouldn't have to part with both.
I wouldn't love the concept of okay, he's gone after this year.
Exactly.
That's the one thing that scares me.
And I'm not convinced you guys would sign him just because you're saving all this money for Embiid, Simmons, and Fultz. You're not gonna tie your books up with these long-term contracts that Butler wants.
Right.
And he also wants to be the guy. That's the reason he said the Clippers, the Nets, and who's the third team you wanted to go to in that initial grouping of 3?
Clippers, Nets, and was it the
It was
the
someone
Rockets?
whack. No. It was someone really weird. That was the thing about it.
I want to say it was the Heat because I think the Nets were out really early, and then the Clippers were never like really got any traction.
I think it was the Heat.
Was it that Heat in that initial 3?
I think it was the Heat.
Okay,
I think the Heat were in the original 3.
Okay. It was Brooklyn and who else were we sure about?
Brooklyn and Clippers for sure.
Knicks, Nets, Clippers.
Okay.
Knicks, Nets.
Okay, yeah. So Knicks. So clearly, like
Knicks makes sense.
Kind of
a little bit,
but like I don't understand. Oh, so he wants to win, and then the 3 teams he wants to go to are the Nets, Clippers, and Knicks. What?
I think.
What are you doing?
He's looking at those teams and he's seeing, okay, I can play alongside D. Russ and Jared Allen on the Nets.
Oh yeah.
Or
baby.
I can go to the
that's
Clippers
a win right there.
and just live in LA.
Yeah.
Or I can go to the Knicks and play alongside Porzingis.
Okay, I think the Knicks and Clippers are both like, I will live in this city. I don't really care about the team that I'm playing for. Like,
yeah, 100%.
And Nets probably to a certain extent as well. Like, that's still Brooklyn. Like, that's still a tight place to live. So yeah, I don't know. Jimmy Butler's priorities are interesting for sure. But
he's a hard worker.
But him on the Heat would be awesome. I'd be hyped for that team.
Yeah, I'm here for that. I mean, they're a solid team.
Yeah, exactly.
They're maybe fringe playoff, and we'll get to that.
Exactly. But yeah, adding Butler to that squad elevates them insurmountably.
So I think that's pretty much it for our current events here in the Man podcast. But we've got a lot to talk about. I mean, basketball is back in today's Thursday, so 5 days. We've got that tip-off special of Sixers Celtics and Thunder Warriors.
Oh my God.
That's going to be 4 fun hours of basketball.
Oh, I cannot wait.
We're going to get some wings, watch some hoops, watch a Sixers dub. Just kidding, no way.
Shout out ATL Wings.
ATL Wings, unknown. They don't know it, but they are a sponsor of the Man to Man podcast.
Oh, yeah.
It's the Man to Man podcast presented by ATL. We should talk to them about that.
We definitely should.
The Man to Man podcast. Welcome to the Man to Man podcast presented by ATL Wings.
If we can just speak it into truth, we can just be like LeVar Ball and just speak it into existence.
Do it on Tuesdays on their wing night. We'll advertise. Oh my gosh, we gotta talk to them about this.
This makes a lot of sense.
Yeah.
This makes a lot of sense.
Wow, we just had a revelation. But NBA's almost back. I know we're both very happy. I'll be a little happier in 4 weeks when college is back too.
Sure. Yeah.
But for now, we've got a lot of NBA ahead of us, and there's a lot to look at. I mean,
my God, there's so many storylines.
Just the Western Conference. Let's just take it one at a time. I mean, the first one is, I think, a pretty easy question. Are the Warriors and Rockets still the 1-2 punch in the West?
I'm gonna have to, as boring as it is, I'm staying with it.
100%.
Warriors are the clear one to me.
Oh, definitely. You know,
I'm much more worried about the Rockets as a 2 seed rather than the Warriors as a 1 seed.
100%. Absolutely. The Warriors are back in 65-70 win territory, in my opinion.
That's the thing that I worry about this Warriors team regular season wise is like, what's their incentive?
Yeah, are they gonna care?
Yeah,
right, yeah, sure.
The thing I keep hearing though is that now the Boogie's there, like that gives them that incentive to like that
to set
added
a record.
juice to do something, you know.
Set a record,
just because Boogie's on that team, and it'll just. But I mean, their accolades will come playoff time. Like that's when they really start caring.
And I think this Rockets team did get worse.
Exactly.
They traded away Trevor Ariza and Ryan Anderson for Carmelo Anthony. If you think about what they lost and what they got. I should say gave away, not traded away. It's their losses and their additions.
Yeah. Marquise Chris. You're forgetting about Marquise
Chris. Oh yeah, that really the guy who looked way too good because he was in Phoenix. My question I'm totally blanking on is, who did they draft?
I don't think they had a first round pick.
Did they not? Okay.
No, yeah. You're good.
Point being, they got worse. I don't think they got worse enough to fall below the top 2 in the West, because I also think the Thunder didn't get much better.
Yeah.
And I think we both agree the Lakers aren't in that top 3 yet, but we'll get there.
Interesting point about the Rockets roster. James Ennis III is going to be awesome. He was on the Grizzlies last year. Not a lot of people really watched him.
They got Vince Edwards.
Exactly. I was about to mention that. Vince Edwards, too. That's kind of cool, right?
And Gary Clark.
Yeah. It's kind of a fun team.
Clint Capella takes a step, potentially.
Bruno Caboclo's finally 2 years away from being 2 years away. Like, he's ready. Back to James Ennis. James Ennis is solid. James Ennis is a good 3-and-D sort of player. And he's going to be able to replicate maybe 80% of what Trevor Ariza did.
You guys can't see it right now, but Jeff just lost it for a solid 30 seconds.
That was so funny.
About Jacob's 2 years away from being 2 years away comment.
He was so excited about it. He's 2 years away from being 2 years away.
I loved Caboclo when he was drafted. I really did. I was like, oh my God, the Raptors got the next Giannis.
Where did he even come from?
Brazil.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, man. He's
the next Giannis. Whoa.
Two Q's players on this Rockets team. Melo and Michael Carter-Williams.
MC Dub.
Yeah, it's a squad, man.
The guy who was good for about 3 weeks of his rookie season and the last 2 weeks of his college season.
That triple-double on opening night is one of my favorite basketball moments.
I was so mad because
What?
he shot the 3 that night. And he didn't do it once
Oh, I got
at
you.
Syracuse. He was a brick from 3.
That's the most Jeff take is to have your NBA team win with a triple double from their first round pick and be mad that first round pick didn't do better in college. That's the biggest takeaway from your game. That's crazy. But yeah,
I just remember. Okay, I was excited about
I
him
know.
showing out. I was excited
course.
about the Sixers winning. But man, I was like, where the hell was this? They went to the Final Four with him,
I
and he
know.
fouled out, and he was terrible in that Final Four game. I'll never 2013, the Michael Carter Williams year really scarred me. But
we couldn't tell. We couldn't tell that you had any leftover.
people
thoughts on
forget
that.
Syracuse actually did win that championship because
That is
Louisville didn't win it, and Michigan had no business ever being good.
Hey, Trey, don't slander the name of Trey Burke like that.
Nick Stauskas.
Exactly.
But point being, Michael Carter Williams is going to be nothing on that roster.
No, I know.
But no, at the end of the day, I think that roster's still solid.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah,
They're definitely a top 3 seed in the West. James
And any
Harden's
team that
awesome.
has James Harden's going to be good.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Their competency levels of a backcourt with Paul and Harden is just like.
And
that's-
clearly, they're still composed well enough to be what they were last year. Because I think part of what made them so good last year was having the pieces to run the kind of style play they did.
Sure.
And they still have that for the most part.
Definitely.
And I think a part of that is throwing in James Ennis into that Trevor Ariza type role. Like, not 100% of it, but
Of course,
a good
yeah,
portion
yeah.
of it.
Yeah,
And they'll still look like what they did, which perfectly fits James Harden and what they want to do. And I think that's why they'll still be a good team. They won't be the same, but they'll still be the same idea.
There's been a lot of talk of them playing Harden, Paul, and Eric Gordon together
I like
all on
that.
the same court. That's going to be
I
so
like
much
that
fun.
for sure.
I mean, 3 guys
People forget Eric
under
Gordon
6'5" who
won
can
the
just
3-point
score.
contest. Was that last year, 2 years ago?
Couple years, no, a while ago.
Okay.
But Eric Gordon,
He's
yeah,
good. He's
exactly.
he's definitely a good. I mean, I would have called him a good 6th, 7th man, but if they want to start him, feel free.
Exactly. No, I think he's an overqualified 6-man.
That's fair. He'd probably start on a non top 4 in the West team.
Bingo. I can get behind that.
So yeah, I mean, Josh, any additions on that Warriors Rockets conversation? Any little comments?
Honestly, and I know this is revisiting a point that we just left, but I think the Rockets should make a push for Jimmy Butler, man. I really think they should make a push for Jimmy Butler. I think even if you have to give away PJ Tucker, you have now your lineup is Chris Paul at the 1, James Harden at the 2, Jimmy Butler at the 3, Marquise Chris switching off with Carmelo Anthony at the 4, and then you got Clint Capella at the 5. That's a good lineup.
That's a good team.
That's a good lineup because then you're stuck with Chris or Carmelo guarding Draymond when you face the Warriors. But
the one thing I worry about in that conversation is you have the beauty of the Rockets is it's so clear who runs that team, and it's James Harden.
Yeah.
And he runs that offense in a way that you've said many times before. They're set up to where he can be this electric player, but then have a lot of shooters he can dish to for this 3-point heavy offense that they've created under D'Antoni. And I feel like Carmelo already starts to have shades of this, but I think if you throw in Carmelo and Jimmy Butler onto that team, you might lose a tiny bit of that James Harden dominates this team conversation. And I think that's part of what has made them good. I think you're never going to say no to talent, but you might lose a little bit of what has made them so special, which is the composition of the team. That said, I would never say no to Jimmy Butler.
If you get Jimmy Butler, you get Jimmy Butler.
But that would be my concern.
No, I
that would be my concern.
I really agree with that.
I think you make a good point, though, Josh. Moving a little bit further down the West now. I mean, there's so many questions we're going to have here in the West. The next one, though, Rookie of the Year runner-up, Donovan Mitchell, in his 2nd year now. How good are he and the Jazz? Are they a top 4 seed? Are they a top 3?
I have them right in that top 4 conversation. I think there are 5 legit teams in the West that are playoff locks, and that they have to fight among themselves for that top. And
I think we agree with who those 5 are. And
we'll touch on that later.
Right.
But yeah, there's a clear divide between the haves and the have-nots in the West.
Well, there's the haves and there's the kind of haves.
Yeah, exactly. Have-nots is not that.
There's like 12
too
kind of
simple.
haves.
Yeah, exactly. But yeah, no, I think this Jazz team's awesome. I think this Jazz team's super good. I mean, we saw with Gobert healthy, they are one of the best defensive teams we've seen in the last decade.
And I think now this is a broad take, but I think anytime you see a very good defensive team in today's NBA, that's kind of refreshing.
No, man, yeah.
And I mean, I'm always here for good defensive teams doing well.
Yeah, of course.
I know you once told me that you would comp the Utah Jazz to Syracuse based on the way they
did I?
run their team. You did.
Okay, that's a pretty solid comp.
No one truly special. Well, not if Mitchell changes that, but no one crazy special, no mercurial, amazing, team-changing talent, but a good defensive team with a lot of talented players. So I like the Jazz. I like the Jazz for that reason. I like the Jazz. But my question: where does Grayson Allen fit in?
Grayson Allen's just a nice backup too. I think he's going to take over for Alec Burks. I think that's a natural evolution there. I'm curious to see how much he plays with Donovan Mitchell. I mean, I think this team has a lot of really exciting guards. I love Ricky Rubio. I love his pairing with Donovan Mitchell. I think that's super exciting. Dante Exum, I feel like we're constantly talking about a breakout season. Like that's always a risk with someone like that.
Grayson a year away from being a year away.
Exactly. Yeah. Bingo. Grayson Allen's good. Jay Crowder fits in that guard / forward.
Watch out for Isaac Haas.
that's your takeaway from this Utah Jazz team is watch out for Isaac Haas. That's a fun
7'2" is 7'2", but he's
personally,
not that good.
I'm looking at a lot of these like full rosters for the first time, and there's a lot of just really fun like
college players. Yeah,
Jarius Lyles from UMBC.
What?
Remember him?
He's in the Jazz.
Yes.
Oh my gosh.
He's never gonna play.
He needs to put up like 90. No, they're gonna beat the Warriors, and he's gonna score like 30 points
in the final, in the conference finals.
No, first round.
Gotcha.
Game 7.
No, I love this Jazz team. I think Quinn Snyder is one of the best coaches in the league. I think they have a bunch of these 6'4" to 6'8", super switchy, super versatile players. That's exactly what you're looking for in this league. I don't know. I like this Jazz team a lot. I think they go far in the playoffs.
Talk to me about the post Anthony Oklahoma City Thunder.
I think they got better without Carmelo. Losing Carmelo to me is a.
That's why I said it was post-apocalyptic, because I did not like the Thunder with Carmelo Anthony. He didn't fit in. I think we all agree on that.
Swapping Carmelo for Dennis Schroeder is huge. Like, that's such a savy play for someone that they were going to cut anyway. To get Dennis Schroeder out of that is huge.
Are they the clear-cut 3 seed?
I guess.
For now,
until we see, I don't want to be too optimistic with the Lakers. I think everyone needs to pump the brakes a little bit on those young guys.
They're still so young.
Exactly, they're still crazy young. So
we haven't seen anything crazy. We'll get to the Lakers, but Thunder.
But that's Thunder to me are Thunder and Jazz to me are going to fight for that 3 seed.
Yeah.
And so I'm here.
But how do you like the composition of this Thunder team now without Anthony?
I think it makes a lot more sense. Dennis Schroeder adds that second ball handler that they really kind of needed last year to get the ball out of Russ's hands, which you worry about how he evolves in that sort of role where he's asked to do things off the ball like cutting and setting screens, and so that's an obvious question mark. But if he can evolve in that way, if he can add that dimension to his game, that's huge for that team.
As a college guy, I've got to ask, what do you think of the fit of guys like Hamidou Diallo on this team?
Hamidou Diallo's gonna be fun. That was a savvy signing. That was a savvy little pickup. I think he was a second rounder.
Makes sense. I mean, the salary's below $1 million. I have to imagine
he's super. He's gonna compete with Terrence Ferguson. That's some athletes right there. Those are some guys who are gonna jump out of the gym. If you ever want to see a fun mixtape, look up Terrence Ferguson's coming out of high school. Supposed to go to U of A. You know what his nickname was?
What's that?
2K. Because
really?
his dunks were like 2K. Yeah.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah, it's pretty nutty.
So you're telling me that you think those couple guys are going to be kind of really like impressive in that backup 2 spot behind like Andre Roberson?
Bingo. So I think they have a lot of they have more depth than we've seen in more years. They have more excitement coming off the bench. That's what I'm really looking forward to.
Roberson, a lot of 2s.
Yeah. So Roberson's already out. Roberson's already injured, so he's going to miss some time to start the year. Right.
And that'll give these guys a chance to get some minutes, see what they're made of.
Yeah. And we saw this team last year without Roberson towards the end. Their defensive identity shifts drastically.
Well, yeah, he's one of the best defenders in the league.
I'd say it's a short list of it's like him, Kawhi, and Draymond like that. There's a very short list.
I'm blanking on somebody, another guard that's also a really good defender, a point guard. Oh my gosh, I'm totally blanking. I'll get to it later.
Okay.
The next question on the list is how good can these Lakers be? We did just mention it. LeBron.
Yeah.
Doesn't miss the playoffs.
No. Yeah, I feel relatively confident they're not.
But how far can he carry a team that was extremely young and has yet to look good consistently prior to his arrival.
Yeah.
I mean, you've got a very young Brandon Ingram, a very young Lonzo Ball, who we never really saw truly break out.
No.
Last year.
I mean, he only played 50-something games.
Right. Yeah. So we have no evidence to the fact that this team is going to be good with these young pieces.
Sure.
But there's a lot of potential there.
Oh God.
How good are they in year one of the LeBron project?
I mean, it all depends. It depends on everyone but LeBron. We know what we're getting from LeBron.
Right. LeBron puts you in the playoffs. How far do the young guys carry you from there?
It so much depends on their evolution. I mean, personally, I'm higher on some select guys from this young Lakers core. To me, the young Lakers core is Ingram, Kuzma, Hart, and Ball. And so
Josh Hart.
Yeah. Josh Hart's real good. So those 4 players determine this Lakers' long-term future. And nothing they did this past offseason besides LeBron, really. Like, Rondo's not determining their long-term future. JaVale McGee's not. Like, those are the 4 that really matter. And so those 4 all hit, that would unlikely, that's a championship-level team from the jump. Like, if they all take huge second-year leaps, and for Brandon Ingram, a third-year leap, like where he's, establishes himself, then that's a championship team. But that's obviously unlikely. To me, I would love to see another big step from Ingram, and then just small little moments of progression from Kuzma, Ball, and Hart. Like, we are just able to see just small steps in some big picture things, like Hart's fit long term with Lonzo. I think that's going to be super interesting because Hart's a good 3-point shooter, but if he's going to stick in this league, he has to be a great 3-point.
So you think Hart ends up at the 2?
Yeah, Hart's the future of the 2. Lonzo's the future of the 1. Kuzma,
Ingram at the 3.
Yeah, Kuzma and Ingram are your forwards.
So is that your starting 5 there?
That's their best 5. That's not their starting 5, but their best 5 to me. When crunch time comes, when the Warriors are calling in the conference finals, that's the 5 I'd roll out. Is Kuzma, Hart, Ball, Ingram, LeBron.
The conference finals, huh?
Oh yeah, no,
this
not
year's
really.
conference finals. Okay.
Yeah, I mean, like I said, if all 4 players take sizable steps, conference finals is a legit goal, but. We've seen with young players, progression is not linear. Like, we're not, we can't just assume that because they did X in year 1, they're going to do Y in year 2.
Right. Yep.
So I'm very curious to see how all 4 of those players have improved in the offseason, though.
I think I'm on the same page with you there. Anything to add, Josh?
Not to that.
Okay. Next question. Are the Spurs still legit with this swap of DeMar DeRozan and Kawhi Leonard?
Yeah.
How much of a drop-off is that?
My takeaway with the Spurs is less about that and more that DeJounte Murray's now injured and now out for the year. Like,
that hurts.
I don't think he's out for the year.
He's hurt for a little while.
Yeah, he's gonna miss some time. But whatchamacallit? But DeJounte Murray out for the year is brutal. That's gonna be Derek White though. Yeah, from Colorado, he has to step up huge. Mm-hmm. That's not gonna define the season, but that'll be very interesting to see because they like him a lot. And so I'm curious to see if he just immediately steps in that starting point guard role, how they deal with that. But yeah, this is, you never want to count out Pop, but this is one of his least talented teams in the last 20-odd years.
Sure, they're still a playoff team.
Oh man, I'm not sure. They're
even with Pop,
they're gonna be fighting for that 8th spot. The West is so good. I don't want to give too much away, but. Yeah. The Trailblazers were the 3 seed last year, and I don't think they're making it this year. Yeah. So the West is ridiculously stacked, and I don't know. It's wild. It's gonna be so much fun, but I'm worried about this Spurs team.
Yeah. Just for reference, Lonnie is out 6 to 8 weeks with a torn meniscus. So just to toss that in there. But yeah, I think I'm on the same page with you as far as the Spurs. It's tough to see them truly being a contender and competing for anything beyond just a playoff spot. Which sucks, because a Popovich team is fun to watch in the postseason and be competitive. And it's been rough the last couple years watching them without Kawhi just look helpless in the postseason.
I would love an angry DeMar season, though.
Yes.
DeMar DeRozan just awesome. Scorched earth season where he's like,
he is good.
He's awesome. Yes. He's really good.
He's not a super duper star.
Bingo. He's not a super duper star, but he's a superstar. He's good. He can lead this team. He'll lead this team in points. He's A1 scorer. That's what he's in the league for. That's what he's gonna do, and that's what's gonna provide for this team. And so it's just about filling in the rest, seeing what they got. But Rudy Gay's fun. Gasol's still there. LaMarcus Aldridge's competent.
A couple names I want to toss out: Jakob Poeltl.
Oh yeah.
Davis Bertans. Former Concord Blue Devil Davis Bertans.
Yeah. Your love for Davis Bertans stems
solely
beyond
from him
basketball and goes right into 2K.
Solely from him being a overrated shooter on 2K and also a big man who I can therefore draft and shoot with and still feel good about making him my 4. Moving forward.
That's the analysis people are looking for.
Yes, moving forward from the Spurs. Denver. How
Yeah.
high can the Nuggets fly? Can they fly mile high? Or will it be dark for 65 days?
That's a great call right there. Just a reference there. Jeff Griffith once asked if.
Okay. Let me get here.
Okay.
So on Nuggets court on 2K again, it says 5280, 300, and I asked one of our friends who's a Denver native why the 300, and he said, "Oh, it's 300 days of sunshine." So my brain, Alaska clicked into my head, and I asked, "Oh, so it's dark for 65 days?" And that's my low point of life.
Wow, that's your low point.
Yeah.
Wow. Off the top of my head, I could
definitely low
think
for me in my life, Jacob.
Wow, really? That's a statement. Okay, we're gonna move past that one.
I mean, meeting you. But,
yeah. I mean, that's an obvious
meeting
one.
Josh.
Right there.
Doing this pot. But point being, Denver. How good can they truly be? They just missed the playoffs last year. They added some interesting pieces. We only saw a little bit of, as you said before the podcast, a little bit of Paul Millsap on this team. Are they as good as their late push last year to the playoffs? Or are they as bad as they missed the playoffs last year?
No, definitely the former.
Okay.
I'm super high on this Nuggets team. I think Jokic is going to take that next sort of step from, like, really good player that people talk about on NBA Reddit to consistently talked about all-star, all-NBA sort of talent. He is that good. He is that transcendent on the offensive end. They need to build their entire offense around him, which is kind of unheard of. Like, they're going to build their offense around a beautifully gifted passing center. Like, that's their whole offense, and it's going to be so much fun. I think it's 77 Blazers when Bill Walton, like that
Sure.
old OG Trailblazers team. That's the comp for this. It's gonna be so much. They've compiled the perfect team around him in a lot of ways. Like, both their guards, both Jamal Murray and Gary Harris are above average shooters. Michael Porter Jr. is probably going to slot in the 3 as soon as he's healthy. That's awesome. I mean, that's a top 5 pick they got at 14. So that's huge.
Michael Porter Jr. is going to Ben Simmons this year?
That's interesting. I hadn't heard about that. I'd heard that, like, you're not going to rush anything, so I could definitely see him.
Sure. So if you're the Nuggets, you're going to have all these players on the team control because you're going to re-sign Jokic, right?
They already re-signed Jokic.
They already re-signed him. So all these players, you're pretty much bringing back the same team next year. So why not just say, hey, Michael, take a year, learn the NBA, study the tape, come out next year, win Rookie of the Year.
Because NBA executives don't think like that. They're not thinking, we're not going to waste a year.
RJ Barrett's winning Rookie of the Year next year.
So. I think you mean Bull.
I think you mean Cameron Reddish from Pennsylvania.
I think you mean Tyus Battle from Syracuse.
Well, people forget he's going to just take the... He's winning MVP next year, so I don't think he can also win Rookie of the Year. It just seems unfair.
It's true.
On top of Finals MVP with the Sixers.
Obviously.
But over Ben Simmons, over Joel Embiid, and over the Celtics, Warriors, and Rockets too.
Clearly.
But point being, where were we?
Michael
Porter Jr. Do you guys think he's going to sit out of here or not?
Michael Porter Jr.
I personally don't think he will.
I see the logic. I don't think it's necessary. I don't think it needs to happen. But I don't think they'd be wrong to do it.
Yeah, if he's not healthy, they should sit him out. And I think I have no doubt if he's not 100% healthy, he will be on the bench. I do think he plays at some point this year.
And then the team that Denver kicked out last year, or almost kicked out last year, got kicked out by in that final game, the Timberwolves. We've talked about how much of a mess this offseason's been up in Minnesota. They're missing the playoffs, right?
I would have to think so. I mean,
especially if Butler leaves.
So, okay, yeah, Butler leaves for sure.
Yes.
But, like, the latest reports have him staying, maybe?
Yeah. The latest reports have him knowing where he wants to go and offers being made, but him still somehow playing there.
Yeah,
that seems like a bad move on Minnesota's part to me.
Just seems like a bad move all the way around.
I just feel like if at any time you have a player around with whom there's so much controversy happening, even if it's not like he's being a bad guy, but there's controversy around him and it centers around him.
Yeah.
I feel like you've got to find a way to get rid of that.
Oh, you have to.
Because you don't want that surrounding your team entering a new season. You want him out of the way, get some pieces for him, and move on, even if it takes a year or two to get back. I don't think they'd be smart to keep him. I think they might just be worse with him. At least worse set up.
I think they'd move from the 8 seed to like the 9 seed, and that's exactly where you don't want to be. Like, that's the worst possible place to be. So I think they're going to be... my greatest hope is that Jimmy Butler leaves and we learn a lot more about who Cat and Wiggins are, because Cat as the number one option would be fascinating.
Could we see a scenario like the Pelicans last year where you lose one of your best players, if not your best player, Boogie Cousins, probably the second best player on that team, Anthony Davis, and then you realize, holy cow, this team built around Rajon Rondo and Anthony Davis was really good together.
Yeah. I mean, it's a possibility. That'd be fun.
Yeah, it's not. You can never say, "Oh, this is gonna happen."
Yeah, obviously.
But that would be a possible scenario.
That would make a lot of sense. The main difference is between Cat and I think we're learning a lot about Cat in this couple weeks stretch. No, that's early before the season even starts. I think personally, I'm kind of shifting my narrative on Cat. I'm a little worried that he's a good stats, bad team guy. That he's just gonna be one of those players who never
Kevin Love.
Like Kevin Love, like Kevin Garnett in those Timberwolves years. Like
sure. Timberwolves.
Yeah, exactly.
Cannot get lucky.
Exactly.
They know how to draft their big men that put up stats.
Bingo. So
Heck
they got that part down. But the whole winning thing, not really.
Kind of important.
It's tough. It's tough to win.
Yeah. I love their draft, though, if I'm going to be honest.
Yeah.
Josh Okogie.
I love Josh Okogie.
He's really good.
I mean, at Syracuse, I hated Josh Okogie, but I love Josh Okogie.
And then Keita Bates-Diop in the second round. That's a really good draft.
Really good pickup.
So, yeah, they're clearly doing something right, but overall, I don't know. Clearly something's wrong with the Jimmy Butler.
Did not realize they have Jared Terrell from URI. Just a random note there. I saw him play a little bit last year. He's pretty good. I mean, he's not NBA good, but
well, clearly he is. He clearly is NBA good.
The one thing, well, he's not NBA roster good. He doesn't have a salary, so I'd imagine he's not really on the team yet.
I think it looks like he's a two-way. Like we'll probably split time between there in the G League.
But it's always fun to see the undrafted free agents.
Oh yeah,
because you don't really hear about them.
No, exactly.
You really follow. So look at these rosters now. For reference, we're pulling up the team's rosters as we go through, because believe it or not, we don't have them memorized. I'm sorry. Even Jacob doesn't have them memorized.
Shocker.
Well, to be fair, they're going to change so much over the next 2 weeks.
It's just always fun to see where the UDFAs end up.
Yeah, definitely.
But I think that wraps up pretty much the playoff contenders. Who are some sleepers for you in the West? When I say sleepers, a team that could make the playoffs but probably won't. Not fun teams.
Oh, never mind that. Teams that could make the playoffs but won't. Memphis Grizzlies. Memphis Grizzlies are going to be way better than people think. I think their floor with Conley and Gasol is just way higher than people are giving them credit for.
Sure. And that floor is...
That floor is like 30, 35 wins.
I was going to say the same thing. Yeah.
You know? And so then you add on Jaren Jackson. Then you add on Kyle Anderson.
Jalen Brunson? No, he's in Dallas.
Yeah.
Dang it.
But no, I like their team a lot.
Same colors.
Yeah. I think they have so much talent on that team. I think everyone's kind of counting them out. You know, pre-season, which I can't get behind. Marcus Gasol is still awesome.
Javon Carter,
JaMychal Green's still really good. I mean, their starting five contends with anybody in the West, which I think speaks to a larger point about there are no easy nights in the West. Every single night will be a bloodbath. Like even the Suns are going to be frisky, which for a team like the Lakers or a team like the Spurs who really need the season to kind of congeal this is going to be brutal.
Congeal.
Jacob, you were really high. Well, not really high, but higher than most on the Kings when we spoke the other day.
I was. That was actually going to be my answer. That Jeff said no. Because I actually don't think the Kings. I think there's no way the Kings make the playoffs.
I'll amend. The reason I said that was because we were talking about having another segment later about these rookies, new teams, etc. We're excited to see play together, and Memphis is an example of that. So let's just jump into that, and then we'll move on to the East later. But talk to me more about these teams. I mean, you mentioned Memphis. You mentioned Phoenix. Sacramento.
Yeah, I want to talk about Sacramento because they're gonna be really fun.
Feel free.
Harry Giles is
Marvin
gonna be
Bagley.
awesome. Did you see that behind the back pass? Harry Giles, that was really sexy. He's awesome. I love what they're doing.
Although I read some tweet somewhere that they had They had Marvin Bagley, Harry Giles, Wenyen Gabriel, and Willie Cauley-Stein on the floor at the same time, and they're already in tank mode.
They are seriously proposing the idea of Marvin Bagley as their three.
That's incredible.
That's like their actual plan. I love the Kings with my entire heart. I love everything that they're doing. This is wild.
I think it helps that they're going to be bad.
Exactly.
And they have another draft with which they can get another really talented player in another top-heavy draft class. It's coming up in 2019.
Yeah.
And I think when you add that, you might start to see a real team put together where Marvin Bagley can play at the 4 and maybe stay at the 3. But I think my point is you don't have to be careful this year. You can do whatever the hell you want, because you're not worried about winning. You're
Yes.
worried about seeing guys grow and watching a core develop for the future.
Yeah.
That core is good. I mean, De'Aaron Fox, Willie Cauley-Stein, Marvin Bagley,
Buddy Hield.
Buddy Hield's solid.
Yeah.
A couple good future bench pieces. I'm high on Justin Jackson. I think
Frank
he's what
Mason is a backup one.
I think Justin Jackson is what the NBA wants. That mold of big shooters.
I think we think Justin Jackson. Like I love the idea of Justin Jackson. I'm not sure what I see from Justin Jackson on the court.
Well, he's the mold that NBA teams
Exactly.
want. He might not be perfect at it, but he's the mold that I think any team would love to have a 6'8" shooter on their bench.
Facts.
And he is that. Whether he's perfect for that role, maybe he's not the best for that role.
My question for you is, why did Nemanja Bjelica?
Nemanja.
Is that how you say it?
I'm pretty sure.
Really? Okay. Cool.
Nemanja. Nemanja.
I know it's Bjelica. I don't know his first name. Bjelica.
Okay.
Why, in your professional opinion, do you think he spurned the Sixers to be like, nah, I'm gonna go play for the Sacramento Kings?
Because he wants his career to die.
Interesting.
Because as I've said for years, and I don't think it's true anymore, but it used to be that Sacramento was where careers go to die.
Oh, I don't know.
Because we watch all these great draft picks go. The big one to me was, and I know he was never actually going to be that great in the NBA, but Jimmer! He went to Sacramento and his career fell apart in minutes.
Yeah. Basically instantly.
He's now, I mean, I love what they're doing with this organization, but he's now resorted to TBT. The basketball tournament to bring his name back.
Right, he just dropped 41 in the Rockets playing for the Shanghai Dragons. And when
wait, playing for the who?
Shanghai, I think it's...
There you go.
Well, okay, true. Fair point. But he dropped 41 against the Houston Rockets.
He's a prolific scorer. Breaking news. Jimmer Fredette can score. Imagine if he could have done it in the NBA. Night in and night out, on one of the worst teams in the past 10 years. Probably the worst consistently in the last 10 years as a franchise.
Yeah.
But my point is, the question was about Nemanja Bjelica.
Yeah.
And I don't know. I mean,
that's
in his head.
Yeah,
if I were to guess, he doesn't want to win.
Yeah. It's really weird. I mean, it would have to be money. Money would be the natural,
maybe his girlfriend or something just loves Sacramento.
Oh yeah, there are just people lined up to go to Sacramento.
Maybe he's got kids who are in a great school there. I don't know, man. PA's got good schools. Send him to Malvern Prep. I don't know.
That was really weird because initial reports were that he was heading home. He was going to go play back overseas.
Yeah. And
then just out of nowhere, the Kings swooped him. So they're offering him. They paid him $6.5 million this year. I don't remember what the Sixers offered, but yeah, that's hefty. But
and there's nobody on a crazy contract in this team. But I feel like everyone's a little overpaid. De'Aaron Fox making $5 million. Costa Kufo's making 8. Iman Shumpert making 11.
Yeah, that's.
Nemanja making 6. Bogdanovic making 9. I feel like these are $2, $3, $4 million players that because you don't have a max guy are getting more than they deserve. I mean, Marvin Bagley's already your third highest player or fourth highest paid player.
True.
That's nuts.
Good for these guys getting more than they know that they're worth.
True. Please, absolutely. I just think you're looking at a team who's got nobody truly elite yet, and everyone who is going to be elite, you think, is on rookie contracts.
Yeah.
So eventually they have to pay these guys, and then you can't be paying Iman Shumpert $11 goddamn million.
I'm super curious to see how this their big man group kind of shakes themselves out because I think there's going to be some natural sort of there's a pecking order that's going to evolve as the season goes on.
I think long term Marvin Bagley is their best big.
Yeah, so that's the thing though. Marvin Bagley's probably that clear solidified starter for sure, but then below him, Willie Cauley-Stein's really good. Harry Giles is really good. Skal Labissiere is really good.
Yeah.
Wenyen Gabriel's all right. Like you're gonna have to figure some stuff out.
I think if I'm the Kings right now, I'm realizing I'm building this team around the core of Marvin Bagley, De'Aaron Fox, and Willie Cauley-Stein.
Wow,
that's my emphasis
over Buddy Hield.
Yeah.
Ooh, that's kind of a hot take.
Buddy's okay. I don't think he's that great.
Yeah, but you think he's better than Willie Cauley-Stein, or you think he's worse than Willie Cauley-Stein?
I think we've seen more from Willie Cauley-Stein.
That is true.
I think Buddy Hield has good potential, but I mean, even when he was, I've always seen him as a good college player. An elite college player.
Yeah.
But I don't know how much he translates. He's been fine.
Yeah, he's been okay.
Years, but I don't know. Yeah. I think at the end of the day, when I say that's what you're building around, I'm just saying like you aren't calling anybody else untouchable. Everybody else is losable in the effort of getting better at other positions.
Yeah, okay.
And I think those are your 3 that you really want to keep. because I think one really good point guard and two really good bigs is a good start. And then you can start finding other good role players. I mean, in the draft, if you can really be bad this year, there are 2 or 3 really good wings coming out of this draft. Depending on how you want to play, guys like Cam Reddish, RJ Barrett, blanking on others.
Zion.
Well, I
Simi
Romeo
Shittu.
Langford.
Simi Shittu, yeah.
Yeah.
Romeo's more of a 2, I think. But point being, I think, end of story, those are your 3.
Nazir
Everyone
Little's
else
the
is
big one we
okay.
missed.
Yeah,
That's the
for
big
sure.
one we missed.
Everyone else is okay, and they're good pieces, but I think those 3 are your emphasis, if that makes sense.
I agree.
That's one of many teams, though, that you could kind of put under this microscope.
Group, yeah.
I like Dallas.
Yeah, tell
I'm
me.
a big Dallas fan. Well, let's pull up the roster here on Jacob's nice little MacBook. I mean, you have to start. You have to be excited about Luka Doncic.
Oh my God! Yeah. How are you not?
And I mean, I think we talked about this before, but I think this is relative to age. This is the best backcourt in the NBA. Relative to age.
I like that.
When you think talent, kind of divided by experience.
Okay.
This is the best backcourt in the NBA.
Okay, I can definitely give you high.
We saw how good Dennis Smith can be. You throw in Jalen Brunson as a backup point guard of the future potentially. You've got some good old guys like Dirk and I don't know, JJ Barea is okay. Harrison Barnes is way overpaid.
DeAndre Jordan.
They picked up DeAndre Jordan. So I think I don't know if this team, what it is now, is good in the future. But that core in the backcourt, that could be a really special backcourt in 5 years. And if you can build well around that with a couple of good bigs, that's a good team in the future. That's a really good team in the future. This is the team I'm most excited. I just want to see how that backcourt plays together.
Exactly.
I'm so excited for that backcourt.
On one hand, my biggest worry, not my biggest worry, but a worry I have with teams like this who get good too quickly is they never get bad enough to get that second or third star.
Sure.
Like what happened with the Bucks with Antetokounmpo, like they needed to be way worse, but Giannis just put them at this level where they're always picking like 9 to 11, and they couldn't just get that next star.
Right.
And so I worry about that with this Dallas team, that Doncic is going to provide them with too much stability and too much talent that like they're never going to get that third piece they really need. Mm-hmm. But on the counterpoint to that is that they got Doncic at 5, so clearly this is a team that knows how to draft and knows how to maneuver. So I'm not terribly worried, but that a long-term projection for this Mavs team is going to be fun.
And I think a lot of times when you talk about teams who you worry about like taking potential and making it happen, like the Kings, you're looking at a Dallas team that we forget for like a long period of time. This has been one of the best franchises in the NBA. I mean, it was competing for Western Conference titles and NBA titles for quite a while. It got bad a few years ago, and we saw it reach its kind of like floor last year, and it's rock bottom and get Doncic. But like you said, this is a franchise that knows how to win, and I think if there's any franchise that's really bad right now that has shown us in the past that it knows how to grow talent and be good and make the right moves, this is one of them.
Definitely.
And I think of all the teams who are bad right now, looking to get better with their current potential young core, this is probably the most equipped to do so based on the evidence they've shown us as an organization.
I couldn't agree more. And also, I mean, the fact that they have the best coach by far. Like, Rick Carlisle is leaps and bounds better than any of these, like, third tier, Western Conference teams.
Right.
Like, you know, nothing. Dave Yeager is fine, but Rick Carlisle is in the elite echelon of coaches. Mm-hmm. Dallas is going to be really fun.
I think those are probably our 2 big standout teams. Anybody else that's young? Atlanta could be fun in the future.
Yeah, I mean, they're worth talking about.
Will eventually, hopefully, maybe, I hope not, but eventually pan out.
Orlando's doing something. I don't know what Orlando's really doing, but they're like, we'll just get everyone tall.
I know you like Memphis, but we talked about them. Any particular players who we haven't talked about yet, rookies, that you just really are excited to see play?
I mean, Jaren Jackson. I don't know how we didn't talk about him more in the Memphis part, but I'm super excited to see Jaren Jackson play. Mm-hmm. Michael Porter on the Nuggets. I think that's going to be awesome.
Any like late rounders who are going to be on good teams that you think are going to be fun?
I don't think Robert Williams is going to get a whole lot of play time on Boston, but in his short minutes, that'll be cool because he's just a straight rim running 5. He's going to be really fun. He's going to be a great pairing with Kyrie. So overall, I think Robert Williams is someone in the late first who I really targeted as someone interesting.
I was trying to see who the Warriors who the Warriors rookies are, and they got Marcus Derrickson from Georgetown, so we're moving on from there.
Omari Spellman, Hawks.
Yeah.
I love
How
him.
about Dante on the Bucks?
Yeah, that's
Well, okay,
something.
here's one for you. Which of the four?
Dante DiVincenzo for
Dante DiVincenzo. Which of the 4 Villanova first rounders? Omari on the. You just said it. Why am I blanking?
Omari Spellman
On the
Hawks.
Jalen Brunson in Dallas.
Wasn't a first rounder though. I mean, it's 35.
Okay, these 4 Villanova players who we all knew were going to be drafted. Dante DiVincenzo in Milwaukee and Mikal Bridges in Phoenix via Philly. Who's going to have the most entertaining season? Combination of how well they're going to play, combination of what their team's going to be like, how they fit, etc.
I mean, the easy answer would be Bridges, but like he's gonna lose so many minutes to Ariza, which is just a boneheaded signing. I don't get that at all.
One of the guys I know via ASU Twitter, Ralph Amsden, we worked together at Rivals, and he tweeted one of the days I think it was when they signed Ariza, a picture of the Suns roster, and it was just a pile of chicken wings, just a bunch of wings. But so that's, I mean, and then they had Ryan Anderson, who's a 4, but he's just a really, really tall wing if you think about how he plays. But yeah, I don't get that. Why would you make an effort to get Mikal Bridges and then overshadow him with a better, older wing?
Yeah, exactly. Why?
Older, more expensive wing. Like, you're not going to be good now. You're trying to be good.
I don't get it at all.
You know what you need to do is just continue to be bad and then draft a really good guard to complement Devin Booker next year and then be good. Don't try to be good now.
Should have hired you instead
of
James Jones.
Such a terrible organization in a terrible sports city. I mean, I'm here for it because I hate Jordan K. But
wow,
at the end of the day, that just is a boneheaded move.
Yeah, that's I hated the Ariza signing at the time. I hate it now. I hate all parts of it. I'm mad at Ariza for doing it. Okay, I'm not mad because go get your money. Like if somebody's paying me $15 million a year, I'm gonna do
one of those situations where you're happy for him, but just baffled by what the organization's doing.
Yeah, no coherence there. I don't really get that at all. I don't know, whatever. You know, that's just sad to me. It just stunts Bridges' development. It irrationally kind of just makes me mad.
Yeah, just the organization's being dumb. Like, plan long term. Trust the Speaking of the process, let's head to the Eastern Conference. I think Jacob and I both agree on who the top 5 teams are, top 6.
Yeah.
And I think we both agree who the top 2 are, but who's better? The Celtics getting back Kyrie or Gordon Hayward after finishing the 2 seed last year, or Toronto, which sneakily won 65 games last year, 68, something crazy like that.
No, I did 62, 60, okay. But still.
But got the 1 seed and added Kawhi.
Yeah.
Now, obviously, the big question mark is how much does Kawhi care? But who's better?
First off, I do think Kawhi's going to care. Like, I think this idea that I don't think there are NBA players at that level who are going to go on the court and decrease their value that drastically by not trying. I think all these players recognize that. Like, if I don't try on the court, they're not going to pay me. That's simple as that. But to answer your question, I think the Celtics are better. I think the Celtics team's just freaking loaded. Like, it's kind of ridiculous. The riches they are gifted with is kind of ridiculous. They just have depth on depth, and depth at a level that you worry that players are going to get mad because you're not getting enough minutes. Like, players who should be getting more minutes are not.
I've caught flack for this, but I really think they'd be smart to trade either Marcus Smart or Terry Rozier.
Oh, definitely. But that's
for him.
The thing about that though is I think you're underselling. You're selling them at their lowest. Like, Terry Rozier is a top probably 15 to 20 point guard in this league. But if you're trading him now, you're not getting that sort of value for him.
Because they know you don't need him anymore.
They know you don't need him, but they've also you can say that. Like, if the Celtics organization says that, they'll be say they're trading with the Magic will be like, so what? Like, we don't know that's true. Like, that's just what you're saying. That like, even if it is actually true, that's just propaganda for now. So I'm curious. Terry Rozier needs his own job. Marcus Smart needs his own job, but while they're there, man, that's some depth.
So who's better?
Celtics. Celtics are better.
Yeah,
Celtics are better. They're a better regular season team.
Yeah, the Celtics, unless the Sixers can somehow pull off a trade for Jimmy Butler, the Celtics win just because they're so deep, and they almost beat LeBron's Cavs last year. And the Cavs last year, I think, are a little bit better or around the same as the Sixers are this year.
Who?
The Cavs last year and the Sixers this year.
Sure.
I'd say they're around the same. Maybe you give the Sixers an edge. You disagree, Jacob?
I mean, there's two very differently constructed teams, but like in the finite, sure, like in the, I guess, like if you're doing overall team ratings,
LeBron and nothing versus
like an actually well-built
young stars
franchise, yeah. But for the purpose of this, I see what you're saying.
Yeah.
So, I just like the Celtics. I just think they were so good last year. They've got so much depth. They can throw so much at this young Sixers team. Brad Stevens, I think, is top 5, top 3 coaches, arguably.
Well, what about Toronto?
I think he can beat Toronto. I really do. I think he can beat Toronto because again, you have to rest your stars at some point. Not everybody's LeBron. They can't play 40 to 48 minutes in playoff games.
Mm-hmm.
You got to rest your stars at some point. And Boston's number 2 lineup is almost just as good as their number 1 lineup, and I'd say better than every other number 2 lineup in the East.
Yeah, I think if all the 6 through 10s played, the Celtics would be the Warriors.
Oh yeah, the Celtics would go like 70-12. Like they would roll.
But I do think we sleep on the depth that they have in Toronto. 100%. I mean, you've got the roster pulled up. I mean, names that stick out. I mean, OG Anunoby isn't bad by any stretch. DeLon Wright is a young talent. Fred VanVleet has showed some things.
The lineups they're going to be able to create with Kawhi now are going to be just orgasmic. I am so excited for the length and the defensive versatility they're going to be able to put on the floor at one time. Oh man, yeah, that's how excited I am.
Tell me your favorite 5 on this roster.
My favorite 5 doesn't even include Kyle Lowry. It includes Fred VanVleet and DeLon Wright as your 1s and 2.
Okay. Which one's the 2? They're both point guards.
We'll go Fred VanVleet smaller, so we'll put him at the 1. Okay. DeLon Wright at the 2.
Wow, that's some old school. Point guard has to be smaller.
It is. It's some bias right there. Yeah. Oh yeah.
Traditionalist.
And then
positionless basketball.
And then I'm going OG Anunoby at the 3, Kawhi at the 4, and Pascal Siakam at the 5.
Woo!
I think that's a really freaking fun team.
Does that so 5 beat the Celtics?
No, I don't think so. Okay. But it's gonna put up a fight. And for probably like 20 minutes a game, that specific lineup's gonna rake because I think they are awesome.
Sure. Now tell me, you briefly mentioned it. I think it's a long shot because no one's talked about it yet. We can't really lock it in any sort of reality. But a Jimmy Butler Sixers.
Oh man, yeah.
Are they the best team in the East?
Yeah, that elevates.
But obviously, without him, they're definitely 3rd.
Exactly, they're a clear number 3 to me. The Sixers are. Mm-hmm. I love the team they have. It just frustrates the hell out of me they didn't do anything this offseason. Yeah. That's just weird.
Well, how do you think I
feel? True. Especially with Bielitsa leaving like that. So like you had that guy too. Like that would have been a huge part. But your roster is still the Sixers roster is still one of the best in the league.
I like that starting 5.
Yeah, exactly.
And if Markelle pans out, he's a very good. We've seen from him. I mean, he was the number 1 pick for a reason.
Exactly.
He had a lot of crap go down for him last year with the injury and getting all up his head. But it seems like he's gotten something back.
Oh, yeah,
He'll be a viable starting option. Whether or not he ever lives up to his original billing is left to be seen. But if he does, that's a scary lineup.
Oh my gosh, yeah.
Like if you take Joel Embiid, Ben Simmons, JJ Redick, Dario Saric, and true to his potential, Markelle Fultz, is that the best team in the East?
So I mean, it depends what you mean by to its potential.
What everyone thought he could one day be when he's first got
one day be or in his second year because those are
two what he could in his second year. Be.
Okay, so then so that still might not be the second.
Just erase all the crap that happened in year 1.
If he had a normal rookie season and was in a normal progression for year 2, still no, but they're definitely more in that conversation for the second seed. You're still in that. Then it's more of a 3-team race instead of a 2 and like 2A. Like
I feel that for sure. Yeah.
But I think he's going to be good. I mean, we've seen enough. I think this preseason, you hope he's put down the Chick-fil-A and worked on some other stuff. And I'm curious, but I don't know. I think he's going to be fine. I worry that like we're going to look back in 10 years and the Lonzo and Tatum over him is just going to be egregious.
Yeah, Tatum. Because you can find. Maybe this is a little too generalistic, but I feel like you can find point guards, but finding wings who can score like that when you don't have one.
Yeah.
Like, imagine a lineup of whoever the hell at the point. Ben Simmons at the point. JJ Redick at the 2. And then Tatum, Saric, and Embiid.
That's kind of ridiculous. Yeah.
I mean, who knows? Maybe Zaire Smith pans out.
True.
But
yeah, you're taking...
Tatum!
Yeah, you're taking all of that. You're taking Tatum over all of that.
Yeah.
Like, Tatum, if you could custom build what you want for the Sixers team right now, it's Tatum.
Yes.
You know?
You've said it so. I asked you a lot last year, what's the one piece they're missing? And you said a 3 who can shoot.
Yeah.
And not be as streaky as Robert Covington.
Yeah. And it's sometimes just the simplest answers are like, the Sixers team needs scoring. Like that's the breakdown of this. Ben Simmons and JoJo.
They need
awesome.
somebody for Ben Simmons to feed who's not Joel Embiid.
Exactly. And so if Fultz evolves into that, that's going to be awesome. If Redick, he had that. What he had? You just had that preseason game where like 10 for 10.
Yeah, 10 for 10 from the field,
7 for 7. Yeah.
I think it was that no player's ever done that in the regular season.
Really? That's
so
like cool.
It was it will never go down as a record because preseason doesn't mean anything.
So it's natural to assume he'll just keep doing that the rest of the year.
Exactly.
He just won't miss the rest of the year. So that's a good sign.
Just like the 2008 Lions would continue to go undefeated after their 4-0 preseason.
Exactly.
Right. Gotta keep moving on through the East here. A couple outside teams outside of the top 3 who have young pieces. We're both high on Milwaukee.
Oh yeah.
Because of who the words have come out of your mouth. I'm gonna take them out of context a little bit. Who you have referred to as the next LeBron, Giannis Antetokounmpo, and you still stand by that?
I do. I there's nothing wrong with that statement.
Mm-hmm. And obviously he's only a few years in.
And I mean, when I say next LeBron,
23 years old. Yeah, he's never gonna be the GOAT.
And not even. I think they'll have very different.
The next polarizing player in the NBA. Okay, yes, and as 23 years old, he's already well on his way. But this is. We saw last year that this team was still a middle tier playoff team. What are your thoughts?
I think the biggest change in the Bucks this season will come from going from Jason Kidd to Mike Budenholzer.
Yeah.
That gap, that going from one of the most simplistic, just kind of least inspiring offensive schemes in the league to Mike Budenholzer, who I think he made Hawks games palatable for me because there was nothing else worth watching in Atlanta. Like Mike Budenholzer single-handedly rose that team from the depths of disgustingness. So he's going to be so much fun with actual talent on his roster now. Mm-hmm. I cannot wait to see what he does with Giannis. I think Giannis is going to be put in these just weird, funky formations and just some plays that are going to confuse us and make us go, huh? And then he's going to go just off. Give
me another fun 5.
Another fun 5.
This should be a segment. Fun 5s with Jacob Rosenthal.
Okay, I'm starting backcourt of Eric Bledsoe and Malcolm Brogdon.
Okay,
that's going to be awesome.
I feel like that's your go-to backcourt on this team.
Exactly, and then
with good backups.
Of course, and then you're throwing in Chris Middleton. Chris Middleton's one of the most underrated players in the league.
I was gonna say that, isn't he? He's got to be one of the more underrated players.
Consistently slept on.
Yes.
Just doesn't get the love he deserves.
Absolutely.
Giannis at the 4, to me, that's his ideal position. That's his long-term position.
Yeah, definitely.
And then Thon at the 5. I'm super excited to see what Thon Maker does this year.
Thon who?
My bad. Thon McCurr.
Gosh darn it. Thon Maker just sounds so much stronger.
I know. But
like
we can't be racist, okay? So I am very excited for this Bucks team. I am honestly super excited. It's going to be so much fun. The coaching jump is just at a level we haven't seen in the NBA in a couple of years.
Right.
Just because this team was just brimming with talent, and then getting that next level of coach is going to be awesome.
Mm-hmm. And I think we both agree the team after them is probably Washington.
Yeah.
Nothing much. They haven't really changed much. There's nothing much to talk about there. They're still kind of the same team they've always been.
They added Dwight Howard, guys.
Oh, who?
and Austin Rivers. Don't sleep on that.
That's a steal.
I think you're sleeping on the Pacers though. I think the Pacers.
Yes, I'm sorry. I keep forgetting about Pacers. Oh my goodness.
I like the Pacers as
they've got some young pieces for sure.
They've got some young pieces. They signed Tyreek Evans this year.
Yeah,
Sabonis is still really good.
Sabonis.
They have some pieces I like a lot. So I'm curious to see how they evolve. Mm-hmm. I still don't think Nate McMillan's a great coach. Yeah. That's my greatest fear with them.
Yeah.
I don't think he's super switched on to like where the league is going, but he's still a competent coach. Mm-hmm. Now, their backcourts are fun.
Now, Bucks, Washington, and we're pretty much in agreement that there's a clear top 3 in the East.
Yeah.
And there's these other 3 who've been there for a while, and that's Indiana for more than a year for the most part. Indiana, Milwaukee, Washington. What do those 3 teams need? Like whether it's a piece or time or something or trade, what do they each need to be on the level of Philly, Boston, Toronto and actually compete for something more than just being in the playoffs and existing?
I think Milwaukee needs that next defender. I think Chris Middleton's fantastic as a wing defender, but if you're able to pair him with somebody who's able to take some of that load off, and maybe I love Chris Middleton, but if you're matching up against LeBron and Durant and something like where you're going up against the elite NBA scorers, Chris Middleton's not the first guy I'm tapping.
Okay.
So that could be something, but also the point guard position. I'm not sure how they view Brogdon long term. Personally, to me, he's more of a 2 than a 1.
Agreed.
So if they were able to get a true 1 in there to facilitate for Giannis, I think that's probably their biggest need.
Okay.
Washington, you said in that group.
Mm-hmm.
Oh man, Washington, I feel like kind of needs it. I don't like
needs
this
to
Washington.
restart.
Yeah, I don't know if they want to trade Wall.
They have 2 great players that they have nothing around, and there's really nothing to put around them.
I think Otto Porter's good. I think
I'll keep my mouth shut.
I think Otto Porter's actually pretty good. Bradley Beal's really.
All
nice.
I have to say is in the only clutch situation he's ever been in a postseason game, he threw the ball away to CJ Fair out of a double team. That's all I have to say there.
Okay, good to know you're unbiased on this one.
Yep.
But no, I think they're fine. I don't know. Like I kind of hate everything that's going on there. I think Scott Brooks is an okay coach. I think
they got the 8 seed last year, right? 7 seed?
Yeah, they were. They played the Celtics in the first round.
Yeah, they got the 8. No, they got the 7. Holy cow.
Yeah.
Who got the 8? Because Indiana got the 5, Miami got the 6.
It was whoever Toronto played in the first. Why are we blanking on that?
Did Milwaukee get the 8 seed?
Oh my gosh, did Milwaukee? Yeah, I think you're right.
Yeah.
That's a great call.
Holy
Yeah,
cow.
Milwaukee got the 8 seed. Ugh.
That's
Jason Kidd's a
surprising.
freaking joke. But I'm less optimistic about the Wizards. I don't think the Wizards are going to be that good.
No, the Wizards got the 8.
Bucks got the 7.
Wait. Oh, Milwaukee did play Boston, and Toronto did play Washington.
Okay.
Yeah, so the Bucks did get the 7 by a game over Washington.
Interesting.
This Bucks team was tied with last year's Heat.
What? Oh, yeah.
They had the same record as last year's Miami Heat.
I don't.
Giannis had the same record as last year's Miami Heat.
The Jason Kidd was
I know.
egregious.
That's my
bad
point.
to watch.
That's my point.
And Eric Bledsoe did not help at all. And Eric Bledsoe is not the piece they thought they were.
No way.
So that I think hopefully that another year with
They don't want him to be there.
Interesting. I like it. I'm curious to see how Bledsoe progressed. But back to the Wizards. Not super excited about them. They're never going to be bad enough to get that game-changing piece they need. Never going to be good enough to justify keeping Wall and Beal. So they're on the treadmill of mediocrity. Mm-hmm. And then Pacers.
The treadmill of mediocrity.
Oh yeah. I stole that from Chris Ryan. Shout out to the Ringer. But yeah. So third team, you said Indiana Pacers. Again, I think a lot of it depends on Oladipo's progression. I mean, I think we saw a huge step from him last year. And so if he takes that next step, like that would be super exciting to see.
But is that going to put them on the level of the top 3 in the East?
Nah, probably
That's the thing. I think they need something else.
Nothing cracks that.
Right.
So I mean, okay, if we're looking for like ideal pieces to crack in, a big man there would be huge.
Sure.
Like,
Somebody to complement Miles Turner.
Exactly, or somebody to replace Miles Turner. I think Miles Turner needs to be their backup. I'm not a huge Miles Turner guy, so I would. Like someone like Boogie there would be.
So
fun.
if you think that this Pacers team, if they had everything they have now and Joel Embiid, they're a top 3 team in the East.
Yeah, definitely.
Okay.
Definitely.
All right. Now the last question I have regarding the Eastern Conference, you and I both agree that after those 6 teams, the 7 and 8 and below is just insane.
Now, it's
we're not
insane in a bad way. It's insane in I don't want to watch any.
We're not going to talk about like the teams who are gonna get those spots because I don't think we want to talk about the playoff Pistons or the playoff Heat.
Yeah.
But talk to me about teams. Anyone who finished with less than 30 wins. So Knicks, Nets, Bulls, Magic, Hawks. Which one of those teams could we look back at this season and be like, holy cow, they made the playoffs?
Bulls for sure. Bulls 100%.
Mm-hmm.
I love their draft. I love they got Wendell Carter. That's a fantastic pick. I think him and Lauri Markkanen for the next however long, 10 years, is going to be super fun. I think that's a great pairing. I think they complement each other.
He needs to improve on the defensive side of the ball.
Wendell Carter?
Yeah.
Interesting. I think he's an awesome defender. I think we watched a lot of Duke there. I think he's overshadowed by Bagley. Like I think a lot of his deficiencies came from having to play out of position with Bagley there. Mm-hmm. I think Wendell Carter's awesome. I think the signing of Jabari is fun. I think that's like why not come back to Chicago? He's going to be a great scorer like that. You know what you're getting in there. Levine solid. Chris Dunn something. They have pieces there.
Valentine.
Exactly. Chandler Hutchinson, he's good. Like they have solid pieces on this roster. I don't know. I like this Bulls team a lot.
And I'm gonna ask you the same question in the West. A team who had less than 30 wins: Kings, Mavs, Grizzlies, Suns. I think I know your answer. Kings, Mavs, Grizzlies, Suns. Who can we look back at and say, holy cow, they made the playoffs?
Grizzlies.
Yeah,
Grizzlies
I
would
knew
do that.
that.
Yeah.
And you talked about it earlier, so I won't make you repeat
but
yourself.
Yeah, Grizzlies. I think Grizzlies have a legit shot at being in the conversation, and that's going to be fun.
All right. Now we're going to lock things in.
We're gonna box some.
We're
things
an
in,
hour into this podcast. I think we probably have set a man-to-man record at this point.
Oh, I
For
think
how much
I
we've
would hope
talked.
so.
Just wait for the college preview. So let's go through some awards. Rookie of the year, and I want all three of us on these. Rookie of the year.
Ooh, rookie.
Just rapid fire. Don't give me an explanation. Don't give me some long-winded thing. Just pick a name.
I don't want to say Doncic. That's too easy. Let me think of something better. Bagley.
Okay.
Bagley's.
Okay, great. Screw you, Doncic. I don't care. Juice.
I think Ayton's gonna put up some numbers in Phoenix, man.
When he's supposed to be the only thing.
Yeah, exactly.
He's gonna put up some numbers.
Yeah. Okay. Cool. Coach of the year.
Budenholzer in Milwaukee.
I'm with that too. That was my answer.
Just to be different, I'm gonna go with Brad Stevens.
Okay.
Nice.
Whoa.
Sneaky.
Just to be different, yeah.
Sneaky coach of the year, Kenny Atkinson of Josh's Brooklyn Nets.
Sure.
That'll be
Yes,
fun.
yes.
Kenny Atkinson's an awesome.
Brooklyn
coach.
Nets tweeted out a great GIF the other day. It was an older gentleman, really just getting into a Brooklyn Nets action. A big fan sent it to Jeff and Jacob.
I think some of what makes the GIF great is lost in podcast format, but regardless, yes, a fantastic GIF.
Okay, then you gotta step it up in phases. First comes social media, then comes draft picks, then comes on the court play. So we're at step one right now for the Nets.
Sure. MVP. Now, it's so hard to pick an MVP because you never know who's going to have a crazy season, but just think about the guy who you think is going to be special and very important on a good team this year.
Anthony Davis.
Dang it, that was mine. I need to be going first now. Juice, anything different?
Oof. Okay. So I think we could see two things. I think if Jimmy Butler gets traded to a team where he's the guy, I think he goes off. I think he has a Russell Westbrook 2 years ago-esque year where he's just like, yeah, this is what I could do. So if Jimmy Butler gets traded, I could absolutely see that. If not, just given your normal host of candidates, LeBron, KD could have a good year, and Giannis. I think it's between those three guys. If Jimmy Butler doesn't get traded, I think it's between those three guys.
That's a great take.
You've heard of Jews who rake. How about Jews with takes? Josh is Jewish.
Yes. Thanks for the clarity.
Yeah, that's true.
I want to stay on that one sec though.
The Jewish thing?
I think LeBron is a legit MVP candidate in years. In a way we haven't seen in past years, just because I feel like no one's going to give it to him in Cleveland again.
Yeah.
Just because there's just this idea of what he would do and what he can't do, and that was.
Yeah.
But in LA this year, I could see him
with
putting
the
up,
youth.
Exactly, I could see him putting up some funny numbers, some ridiculous numbers, and that'd be really cool to watch. And it just if he just captivates the country with just new Showtime Lakers. I can definitely see the narrative just being LeBron.
Sure.
But yeah, I don't know. I like our Anthony Davis pick.
This is just a fun one. Comeback player of the year. I don't know if they do it or not, but we're throwing in some of our own.
Comeback player of the year. That's a good one. I'll let you go first on this one. You're clamoring for it.
I didn't have an answer yet. I'm still thinking. I'm trying to think about guys who were good last year.
I'll jump in. Markelle Fultz. That's a pretty easy answer. Either Markelle. Oh, wait.
Why didn't I think of that?
There's a better option. I just thought I want to see if you guys take it. If not, then I'll say it. But Markelle Fultz.
Oh,
I'm thinking
better
right
option.
now.
Better option. I think coming back from the embarrassment of not winning Rookie of the Year, Donovan Mitchell, big comeback player of the year.
Ooh, interesting comeback.
Not what I was thinking, but no, good choice.
No,
I think it's the players who lost last season to injury.
Sure.
And I'm drawing a blank when I really think. I mean, Boogie would be fun. But
yeah.
But was that year?
I can't imagine him being too special.
Yeah, exactly. I don't think he comes back.
I'll wait for you guys to give your official choices.
Okay. I don't know if I have an official choice.
That's just mean. Michael Porter Jr.
Tell me, Josh, who is your other?
I was gonna say Kawhi.
That's a great
He's
one.
gonna pick up some numbers.
Dang it.
Yeah, Josh is killing this.
I'm gonna say Kawhi.
He's gonna pick up some numbers against the Magic, against the Brooklyn Nets, against the Knicks, against the Hawks. All these lower Eastern Conference teams.
Okay, you can call them awful.
Awful Eastern Conference teams. Who's gonna be picking up these points that the Raptors win? They're gonna be just giving it to Kawhi and telling him, "Go, have some fun, man."
Yeah. Another great call in the same vein, Gordon Hayward.
Oh,
Gordon Hayward would make a lot of sense,
Kyrie
too. Yeah, to a certain extent, yeah, Kyrie for sure. I would love to see what Gordon Hayward's able to do in that offense.
Yeah. I like the Markelle Fultz take, though.
Yeah, all great takes.
Breakout player of the year. Guy we have yet to see really be good, have a big jump this year.
Guy we've yet to see. What do you define as really great?
Just a guy that just has been there, hasn't been special yet, so he's really going to make a big jump.
Like Oladipo last year.
Yeah.
I gotcha.
Uh-huh.
My take for that, let's go with Aaron Gordon. I think Aaron Gordon took
not Eric. Okay.
Yeah, Aaron Gordon. Aaron Gordon took a mini leap last year. And remember at the beginning of last season when the Magic were like good? When the Magic
yeah.
There was a stretch for like 2 weeks when the Magic were hitting like 60% of their threes.
Yeah, I forgot about
and
that.
had won like I think they were like 8-3 or something like that, 10-4. It was something really fun. I think that kind of continues a little more this year. I really want to see him as a more traditional 4. I'm worried that the drafting of Bamba and Isaac kind of suggests that he's on the way out, or they don't see him as a traditional 4. But I think that's where he fits in best. And I think if given the opportunity, he takes that next step as an elite defender, a solid shooter, a good off-ball creator. I think he's going to be great.
Mm-hmm. Josh, there are a couple names you crossed through my head. No one I feel particularly strongly about, but guys I just have hunches about. And I just have this feeling that we're going to see some special things in the future from D'Angelo Russell in Brooklyn.
So, yeah, he was one of my choices. I was thinking, I had 3 choices, and then I'm like, all right, that's cheating. I'm going to put it down to 2, which still might be cheating. My original thought was D'Angelo Russell. But then I thought maybe more Jared Allen. He's shown some special flashes. He got a block on Blake Griffin the other day. It was pretty nice, if I do say so myself. The other one I could see, Josh Hart. Because not a ton of people know Josh Hart. I think you have to be a little bit more of a basketball connoisseur to know Josh Hart.
What's a connoisseur?
Like a person like really knows basketball.
I think you mean
believe it's a connoisseur.
All right, Jeff.
Jeff, you asshole. Yeah, we get it. Not all of us got into Cornell. Okay, yeah, we get it, Jeff.
We're sorry, Jeff. Anyway, I could see Josh Hart.
You guys are the worst.
Just putting up some numbers as like 6th man of the year-esque, but maybe being beaten out by an Eric Gordon for 6th man of the year.
I like that.
But definitely as a breakout player, I could see him.
Okay.
All great calls.
Deloading. Surprise team, and I think we've kind of given this answer already. Josh, who's your surprise team?
I actually wanted to just say the word surprise in a really high-pitched voice, but I wasn't sure if I was going to get it out.
Okay, wait. Feel free. Go ahead.
Surprise! But,
perfect. Shout out to Jordan Lake.
And Ryan Sharp.
Sure. But I think that one of the surprise teams, Jacob, you mentioned them earlier. And
are you gonna steal the Grizzlies?
I was gonna say the Mavs.
Oh, thank you.
But Jeff, who's your pick? Why don't you tell us?
The Hawks. No, the Memphis Grizzlies. I like your take on them. I'm excited to see that team play together.
Both good takes. Mine is the Chicago Bulls. I think they're better than people think. I think they're gonna feast on this crappy East, and I think they sneak their way in the playoffs. Just a little sneak preview of what.
Overrated player or team. I'd prefer team.
Oh, okay. Overrated player or team. If I'm gonna be honest.
Or both. Feel free.
Sixers. Sixers. I think there's some serious red flags here. Loving what we're seeing from JoJo.
There's a much lower floor than people realize. There's a high ceiling. But there's a much lower floor than I think people realize.
Sure. Okay, I can get behind that. Yeah. They lack the veterans of a typically of a team in this point in their progression where they're like, we have these young studs, but we're also clearly trying to win a championship. Last year with Bellinelli, that was a huge signing. They were able to, that's just that veteran presence that you need. Ilyasova, same vein.
Yeah.
Don't have any of those guys this
year. JJ.
Sure, but those. Yeah. Players who you're not going to ask a lot from, but are constantly excited when they do.
Yeah.
And they don't really have a whole lot of that in terms of veteran experience this year.
Uh-huh.
So that's my greatest fear for the Sixers.
They also picked up both of those guys mid-season and very well could do that.
True, they definitely could. They are keeping their options open for those buyouts because those are huge.
Uh-huh.
How about you guys? Who's your overrated teams?
I can go first.
I had a couple I'm trying to toy between.
All right, so I'm going to go with the Lakers. Because I think a lot of people see LeBron on that roster, they see Lonzo on that roster, and they're like, you know what, Lonzo's going to be good because, and I think the average basketball fan sees LeBron, they see Lonzo, They see Rondo. They think of old Rondo that helped lead the Celtics to that championship.
Yeah.
And they're going to say, wow, this team's going to be really good. I think the Lakers traditionally get a lot of hype, so it's easy for them to be overrated. And I think with LeBron being there, it's even easier for the Lakers to be overrated. So I think they're a little bit overrated. I'm not saying, they're going to be a lottery team, because they're not.
Sure.
But I think some people might be putting them in their top 4 in the West, and that's just not true.
Okay, yeah. Lakers are one of mine. I'm leaning Thunder a little bit.
Interesting.
Washington's an obvious pick.
Nail it down for us, Jeff. Give us your overrated team of 2018-19.
Come on, Jeff.
I didn't go with Houston.
Ooh, tell us.
Spicy.
I think it's similar to the explanation we said earlier, but I think this is stealing from something you said last year about how
we're just all taking from Jake.
And I said this earlier too, that the beauty of this team isn't just the talent; it's that you have a clear-cut Harden with guys to dish to, but also he's the focal point of the offense. And I'm not saying the focal point's been taken away, and my point here is not Carmelo. But I think the loss of Trevor Ariza is bigger than we realize. And Ryan Anderson. Those are both good shooters and good offensive... Ryan Anderson is not great.
Yeah.
But Trevor Ariza was a great shooter last year. He was one of the best in the NBA. And I think losing him is bigger than people realize. And while I do think they'll probably hang on to the 2 seed, I don't think the Thunder and Jazz and Lakers will be that far behind. I think there's a scenario where we see Rockets fall as far as 5 if things don't click with Carmelo and in the post-Trevor Ariza era. In Houston. So that's kind of my take. I still think they're a very good team, but I think there's a scenario where the floor, like we see with the Sixers, is lower than people realize.
I really like that. I really can get behind that. Yeah, there are definitely some concerns with the Rockets. If you're a Rockets fan, you have to be at least cognizant of the fact that last year was probably a chance.
I don't think this Rockets team is far different from last year's Thunder team.
Okay.
In terms of how good it can be.
Okay, I like that. I can get behind that. Any other takeaways from any other group-wide discussions you'd like to embark on?
I think that was it. Let's just rattle off our playoff teams.
Let's go. Give me your 1 through 8 in the West.
All right. My 1 through 8 in the West: Celtics, Raptors, Sixers, Bucks. Your home teams. Bucks playing the 5 seed Pacers. Sixers playing the 6 seed Wizards. Raptors playing the 7 seed Pistons, and the Celtics playing the 8 seed Heat with a sneaky 9 seed in the Bulls.
Nice.
And then in the West, I got...
Wait, hold on. Let's all do East, and let's all do...
Yep, go ahead with East. Well, Juice, are you getting on this?
Honestly...
I don't think you were prepared to. I don't think
exactly. I don't want to put you on the spot.
Not prepared.
That's
Good.
fine. You can say if you have any big beefs with ours.
If I hear anything egregious.
Cool. Jacob's East.
I got Celtics 1, Raptors 2, Sixers 3.
Same as me.
Bucks 4, Pacers 5.
Identical.
Wizards 6.
Okay.
Heat 7 seed, Bulls 8 seed.
So we have the same 8, except you move the Bulls into 8 and push the Heat up 1 and kick the Pistons out. So it's pretty much the same top 9.
We have the exact same 6 in the exact same order, and then
the same top 9 teams with a shuffling of the last 3.
Yeah. So real creative.
Oh wow, we're
Jeff,
really
going
crazy.
At 5.
And
what a spoiler! He is them at 4. All right,
Jeff,
the West.
I'm sorry, Jeff.
Warriors 1. A take. Rockets 2, Thunder 3, Jazz 4, playing the Lakers at 5, Thunder playing the 6 seed Pelicans, Rockets playing the 7 seed Nuggets, and Warriors playing the 8 seed Spurs.
Yeah, pretty similar to what I got. Warriors is the 1 seed, Rockets is the 2, Thunder is the 3, Lakers is the 4, Jazz is the 5, Nuggets is the 6, Pelicans 7, and Spurs at the 8.
Real quick point. I can see the Lakers being 4, but I think I have a bet with somebody saying they're not going to be a top 4 seed.
Interesting.
I forget who it is. But that's
my guess is Jordan K.
I think it is.
Yeah, but if I have a hunch.
Yeah, I'm going to hold that there for now. But, Juice, did you want to say something about the Lakers?
I can't believe you guys have them both in your top 5.
Where do you think
put them?
Yeah, where do you think the Lakers?
No, that's not what I'm asking you. I'm going to ask, what teams do we have behind them that you're putting ahead of them?
I'd put the Pellies ahead of them. And in your case, Jacob, I'd put the Jazz and the Pellies ahead of them.
So you just think they're 6?
I think they're 6, and I could see a way that the Nuggets, just with their experience, everything they've learned from last year, their hunger from last year. Not that the Lakers aren't hungry. They are.
Nah, they're just a little.
I feel like the Nuggets, that loss really stung, and I feel like that's going to carry over a little bit into this year, and maybe those early season wins that they just come out with a little more energy push them above the Lakers late in the season.
Yeah, makes sense.
So you could see the Lakers finishing as low as 7.
I could see the Lakers 6-7 just because the West.
Well, I mean, Vegas odds have them 8, don't they?
Not anymore. That
okay.
At one point that was
that was way after they signed him.
No. An 8th, and the Vegas had no.
I
Okay, so I think what you saw was like BPI or something like that. Some ESPN projection had them at 8, or like maybe even missing the playoffs. Yeah,
we spent so much of this podcast just talking about how the West is so good 1 through 10, 1 through 11.
It's true. And 1 through 15.
Even 1 through 15, you could sell me on that.
Everybody's got some kind of talent.
Exactly, and in a conference where there's so much talent and there's no easy nights, like you said, Jacob, it's tough for me to see a team with that much young talent and LeBron to do so well. I think that part of the reason why LeBron was able to do so well and take some nights off and rest up for the playoffs and just dominate there is because there were nights where you could just put it on autopilot and say, hey, Kevin Love, you're going to be the focus of our offense tonight. I don't know if Brandon Ingram is ready for that. Maybe he can prove me wrong, and he will be.
Yeah.
But I don't know if Brandon Ingram, Lonzo Ball, Rajon Rondo, the other pieces they brought in, Lance Stevenson, can fill that void. Because Kevin Love isn't a great number 2, but he's good enough to carry the Cavs to some wins over these Eastern Conference teams. I don't know if the Lakers have that.
That's fair. Yeah, all legit points.
I don't think it's possible to make a wrong preseason argument. Unless you go crazy.
Yeah, it is.
No,
yeah,
okay. I don't think it's possible that any of us would go so far as to make a wrong, one we can already prove wrong.
Just patting ourselves on the back there.
I think the Warriors are getting the 7th seed. None of us are going to say that. I think there's clear tiers here that we're sticking within. But that is a valid reasoning as to why you think they might be lower than we have them.
I think one team we didn't talk about at all for some reason, and that's super intriguing to me personally, is the Pelicans. I think
we briefly did.
Did we?
A little bit.
Okay, well, I don't know. I must have blacked out for that.
You clearly want to say something about it.
I do. I have many thoughts about the Pelicans.
At this point, if you're still listening, you're already an hour 20 in. What's an extra 5 minutes?
Yeah, exactly. They're going to enjoy my Pelicans thoughts.
All 6 of them, yeah. Go ahead.
Elfrid Payton, bounce back season. That's going to be fun. I like him as the Rondo replacement there. I think he's going to be talented. I think the Julius Randle signing was really fun. I'm excited to see how they use Anthony Davis. If they use him as a more traditional 5, where I think we can all agree that's where he makes the most sense. I think this team ceiling is not through the roof, but I really like what they're putting together there. I think they have a lot of really exciting pieces, and I don't know. I'm pumped. I think this Pelicans team's gonna be fun.
Yeah, I'd agree with that. Any other little late takes? Anything else to add? Bold predictions?
Yo, Nets take the 1 seed in the East.
Bingo. That's how we had it right there.
Nothing but respect. And then one last thing. Next week, Tuesday night, Sixers, Celtics, Thunder, Warriors. Give me your winners.
Celtics, Thunder.
Whoa. Oh, yeah. Thunder winning in Golden State?
Oh, yeah.
Whoa.
Oh, yeah.
Sixers, Warriors.
Oof. Sorry. Oof. Let's go Celtics, Warriors.
Nice. That's probably the right take, but, me and
well, Jacob and I like to have a little more fun, I guess.
Yeah. No, actually,
Drew's not a risk taker.
I think my takes is
I just want it to
on.
be different.
In facts.
I think we just wanted to be different.
I mean, he was the most different, though.
That's true. Well,
we're all different.
I think the point has been made that we're all a little different, a little unique in our own way. We're all special flowers.
That's the whole point of this podcast.
We're like snowflakes. We're all different in our own way.
Man, this is way too long a podcast. We are.
And the NBA is going to be great this season is the bigger point.
Man.
So thank you if you somehow made it through.
Wait.
What?
Give us 30 seconds of college. Give us just a little sprinkling of.
Because you're gonna hear Jeff's entire college takes next week.
Exactly.
So here's 30 seconds of what you're gonna hear next week.
Give us a little sneak preview.
That's a really broad.
Oh yeah, it is. Yeah, it is.
On which to paint.
Okay, what team that the average college basketball fan wouldn't even have on their radar as a great team is going to be super fun to watch this year?
Great team?
Not a great team, but it's going to be really fun to watch.
I can name a couple.
Sure.
Mississippi State, Nevada, Buffalo. Indiana's back. Syracuse is back. The obvious Duke. If you're wondering, I'm looking at my bracket projections right now. Washington, I love. The SEC is going to be fun.
Yeah, Tennessee.
SEC is going to be real
Admiral
fun.
Schofield.
There are. I have 6 teams making it. I have 2 right on the outside and 2 more long shots. So that's most of the conference right there.
Sure.
The ACC won't be its most talented, but will be its deepest that we've ever seen.
Wow.
I think there are 13 out of 15 teams that have a legitimate argument for being a tournament contender. I don't think they'll all make it because it's impossible for all of them to win at least 8 conference games, which has been the barometer for whether or not you have a shot at the tournament. No one's ever made it with 7 conference wins in an 18-game conference schedule. I think we could see as big as a 4-bid league in the Atlantic 10. I love St. Bonaventure, Rhode Island, St. Joe's, and Davidson. I think probably only 2 or 3 of them make it at most. I think the American Athletic Conference sucks this year. I think Pac-12 is a little slept on, but the bottom half is trash. Anything else for you?
We're gonna leave the podcast with this not hypothetical, just proposition.
Okay.
I get North Carolina, Villanova, and Virginia for championship odds. You get the field.
National?
Yeah. Who do you like more? Whose odds do you like more?
North Carolina, Villanova, Virginia.
And you get the field.
The field.
Oh, okay, cool.
Yeah.
We might have to put some money down on that one.
Because I am. You want me to say Duke? But Kansas is insane.
Kansas is awesome.
Not only is Kansas extremely talented on a Duke level,
But wait, Jeff.
but they have experience, and that's winning championships. We've seen that in several years past. Seniors win, and
Yes.
Kansas has those, and they've got crazy talent, and they've got one of the best coaches in the game.
The kid from Memphis, Dedrick Lawson, that's gonna be fun.
Yes,
Yeah, he's really good.
I would take Kansas against those 3.
Interesting.
Yes.
Okay, cool.
Well, definitely tune in next week to hear why Kansas is so good, even more about that, and
I'd love to.
why Duke poses a threat to Kansas. Jeff's going to tell us next
They
next
don't.
week. Well, he's going to tell us anyway.
I am a huge proponent of freshmen look great in November through February and don't win in March, but we'll get there.
We have months to talk about that,
Yes.
boys. We got time. It's basketball's back.
Basketball's back.
Love it.
Woohoo!
All right, tune in next week, guys. Have a good one.